Jesus was telling them all the time that this was going to happen. And it did happen. Because, see, God, when he said he's going to do something, he's going to do it. And he told them, they should have listened. And that was done. Anybody got anything to say? Okay, we'll continue. Remembering his words, Luke chapter 24, verses 4 through 8, and Hosea chapter 6, verse 1 to 3. While they wondered about the disappearance of Jesus' remains, two men in clothes that gleamed like lightning stood beside them. The women's confusion turned to fear. They bowed down before the men. So these two men were evidently angels sent from heaven to God's tomb, as we discussed earlier. Jesus is recorded as saying to the 12 disciples, quote, "Behold, we go up to Jerusalem, and all things are written by the prophets concerning the Son of Man shall be accomplished. It shall be done. For he shall be delivered unto the Gentiles, and shall be mocked, spitefully entreated, spitted on, and they shall scourge him and put him to death, and on the third day he shall rise again." That's from Luke chapter 18, verses 31 to 33, and Matthew chapter 20, verses 17 through 19, and Mark chapters 10, chapter 10, verses 32 to 34. Declaration of the prophecy fulfilled. Luke chapter 24, verses 4 through 8. Hosea chapter 6, verses 1 to 3. Luke 24 and 4. It came to pass, as they were much perplexed thereabout, behold, two men stood by in shining armor. So they were shocked when they saw it. You would wonder, how did they get there? Yeah. Who are they? Yeah. But it said to be they were angels, which they were angels. 6. Okay, 5. This is Hosea 5. No, Luke. Okay, number 5. As they were afraid and bowed down their faces to the earth, they said unto them, "Why seek ye the living among the dead?" 6. He is not here, but is risen. Remember how he spoke upon you when he was yet in Galilee. 7. Saying, the Son of Man must be delivered into the hands of sinful men and be crucified, and on the third day rise again. And they remembered his words. They remembered. They didn't believe it first, but they remembered. Now it's evident that Christ is risen. Other gospel accounts identified the men as angels who descended from heaven, rolled the stone away from the tomb, and sat during a dramatic, natural, quote, act of God, unquote, described as an earthquake. Matthew 28 and 28 verses 1 through 2. Jesus' forecast of his resurrection on the third day alluded to the critical Hebrew scripture theme of deliverance. The Hebrew scriptures recorded a tradition of deliverance in the face of horror. Some well-known deliverance narratives in the Old Testament included the exodus of the Israelis from Pharaoh's pursuing army, Exodus 14, Daniel's rescues from the lion den, Daniel 6, and the preservation of the 3 Hebrew boys in the fiery furnace, chapter 3, to name a few. I think I'm leaving out something here. So, let me read that again. Other gospel accounts identify the men as angels who descended from heaven and rolled away the stone of the tomb and sat during the dramatic natural act of God described as an earthquake. Jesus' forecast of his resurrection on the third day alluded to the critical Hebrew scriptures theme of deliverance. The Hebrew scriptures recorded a tradition of deliverance in the face of horror. Some well-known deliverance narratives in the Old Testament included those of Daniel and Meshach, Shadrach, and Abednego. So that's what I had to read that again to get to understand. Anybody have anything to add? Want to add to that? Hosea 6:1. Come and let us return unto the Lord, for he hath torn and he will heal us. He hath smitten and he will bind us up. 2. After 2 days, he will revive us. In the third day, he will rise us up, and we shall live in his sight. It's the third day of the resurrection. Now, we have a reason to believe. After then shall we know. If we fall on to know the Lord, his going forth is prepared as the morning, and he shall come unto to us as the rain, as the latter and former rain unto the earth. So, anybody want to add something to that? So God kept his promise. And he came to us, and now all we have to do is believe. There is significance to the third day in addition to Israel's restoration on the third day. Jonah spent 3 days in the belly of a large fish, commonly referred to as a whale, before being released. Esther entered the presence of the king after she and the Jewish people fasted for 3 days. And before Moses presented the 10 Commandments, the Lord appeared to his people of Israel on the third day. So this is significant in the number 3, third day. The significance of the third day is debated among scholars as indicating the completion of a journey, the climax of an event, or a day associated with special divine activity. The third day. The number 3, associated with a special divine activity. As the principal Old Testament package cited in the gospel with respect to resurrection, Jonah chapter 2, Jesus said, quote, Jesus said, as Jonah was 3 days and 3 nights in the belly of a huge fish, so the Son of Man will be 3 days and 3 nights in the heart of the earth.